go back to the theatrical lighting that we used on the very first Vienna tour, using the flashing on very, very brightly, like at the final chorus of Vienna. They just absolutely dazzle you out completely. And you'd see, like, what we had when we had no money at all was Midge would have one of these theatrical-looking lamps just stood right next to him. Chris would have one, and I would have one, and the drummer had one. It was different, cheaply different. So what we decided to do on this was go back to that idea, but not only that, we just wanted to be rougher, less organised, more natural.
The black areas, the unlit areas, are just as important as the lit areas to us. And what we've done on like the main sections along here, we're using a lot of gobos, which are sheets of metal with patterns cut out and slotted inside the lamps, so that you'll get maybe a sort of Venetian blind effect. As the light is broken up, instead of just having a straight flared beam, you get a staggered lamp, or one with triangles cut in it into like various patterns. So from upstairs there, up in the balcony, you're seeing like a nice pattern on the floor as opposed to just like a wash of light like most other people use. And also it gives you a very sort of moody atmospheres. You're getting pieces of the bodies lit up, you're only getting a bit of the face lit up and the hands lit up at certain times, as opposed to just seeing everything, everyone all the time. I find it much, much more interesting.
Quiet street washed by the rain, a lonely mansion street to the king, with your design to crawl.
We like the idea of using different textures as well, using the scaffolding, not just to hold lamps, but actually for a look and a feel, and the netting, which we found very, very difficult to get hold of. We actually had to get this stuff made for us in Germany. Have you ever tried buying, you know, a fireproof fishing net? It's not very easy.
This is just nice and rough, you know, there's nothing spectacular about this. We are actually relying on our good looks.
Things can look incredibly contrived if you go over the top, you know, if everyone wore the same clothes and, you know, you all had your hair cut the same place and, you know, you all drove the same car. It would just look a bit like sort of Devo or something, like you were deliberately trying to contrive a look, an image, which you're not trying to do. All we do is go for the best in certain areas. We try and use interesting, good photographers, so that the actual photograph itself projects an image and not just the four people all looking the same to project it. I mean, the four of us look radically different just now, and I think it's quite a healthy thing. But there's still a set feel to it all. As long as it all feels good, it doesn't really matter whether it's uniformed or not.
Ultravox don't really like doing that many pictures. They're not a very picture-orientated band. Like with all their sleeves they don't really have any pictures on them or anything like that. They keep their designs fairly simple. They might actually put a picture inside. I mean, on the last two singles, I think they did like a limited thing where they put a poster inside so that the kids can actually pull that out and use that, where they don't actually use it on the bag. But they realise that I think pictures have to be done. So when they do them, they're very, very fussy about them. I couldn't fall over yourself. I'm getting nervous. I most probably start off with my own ideas and then involve them in them, and then they sort of agree to how we're working the shots. And then we shoot it, and we shoot loads of Polaroids, have a look at the way it's working. I think that'll work.
So it's like this head floating around.
Right, so I'll bring you in a little bit more. I can add a little bit more into the jacket around here as well. It's no problem.
That would help.
Yeah, just a little bit of white as well on the trouser leg. Okay, and when they see something that they particularly like, and then we go into shooting it.
Right, now hold it nice, steady. Nice, still there. Really, square the head back up really slightly. That's it.
So it's not really them sort of saying, this is exactly how we want it, because it never works like that. Because each individual photographer has his own idea how he wants to present the band by listening to the music, seeing them on stage, just all those various different aspects of it. They wanted to use something from their stage show, so they decided to use some of the netting for the shot, to incorporate that in one of the shots. This first one was with the netting, and obviously you can see this one is virtually the same. Then we did a series of individual shots around this blue, very much on the same sort of lighting, which is fairly moody in the same way that they sort of light on stage. Bright from one side, fairly dramatic, so that's how we sort of kept it. Because they're all so different, you know, one's sort of fairly easy about it, you know, one will sort of say whatever has to be, somebody else will be very fussy about how they look. They're just so different that you end up getting so many different points of view that you end up, like for instance, if I get these up, just to show you, see on the black and white, for instance, instead of them all sitting down at one go and saying, right, let's use this one or this one, they usually come in individually to look at the pictures, or you might get two of them in at one time, and they'll say, don't really like me in that one, don't really like me in that one, don't really like me in that one. So you end up with all these different colours, which I think, in this case, the yellow is Billy, the red is Midge, and the white is Warren. So you end up with, on this particular sheet, there isn't one where anybody agrees on it. They keep themselves very much themselves. They have their own little projects they do. I mean, they produce their own videos, you know, or direct their own videos, rather. I mean, that in itself is quite a feat, I think.
A lot of bands tend to go into the studio and make the records, and that's it. They'll bring in outside director to come up with a concept for their song, which just doesn't make much sense, really. If you've got the facilities and you've got the ability to control all aspects of what you're doing, I think you should exercise that right. We've been lucky enough to gain that confidence from a record company, so we can go off and direct our own videos because they know we can do it now.
It's a feel we're after more than a storyline. I mean, the last video had a very strong storyline, and that was the strength of it. And I think everyone's expecting a Dancing with Tears Mark 2, and they're not going to get that with this song. This song was written up here, and the feel of the music is very ethnic Scottish, lilting, haunting melodies. And what we want is visuals to go with that, dramatic countryside like we have here. Because we've already tied that in with the graphics on the single sleeve anyway. It's mainly going to be like an advert for the Scottish Tourist Board. It'll kill it. Kill it stone dead.
Midge, tell us what you're up to at the moment.
Up to a year of water. Well, because of the sort of foul weather conditions here, which we sort of expected but didn't expect it today, we're just going to do some random shots up there of couples walking about hand in hand. And what we're actually doing, we're starting in the middle of the video somewhere, because we can't do the beginning that we'd planned for this afternoon. So the people have already met. The idea is it's like, 4 guys meet 4 girls in this wondrous holiday hideaway. and team up. Well, we've already teamed up now, so this is like we're just going to grab bits and pieces
Right, okay.
until the weather gets a bit better.
Babe, next one.